But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn. Yeah, who's the firstborn? Your only children and your fervent lover are given into their hands. Now, if the world is made for our sakes, why don't we possess our world for an inheritance? How long will this endure? What Naga ain't asking this question right now. How much longer do we gotta hold up to get some help? Hard to trust a Naga. Turncoat Nagas, treaty-making Nagas. More and more war. Let's go. In Esdras chapter 7, verse 1, let's go. Second Esdras chapter 7, let's go. When I had finished speaking these words, the dragon, the angel, which had been sent to me the nights before was sent to me, he said to me, rise, cum Esdras, and hear the words that I have come to tell you. I said, speak on, my Lord. Then he said to me, there is a sea set in a wide place, that it might be broad and vast, but its entrance is set in a narrow place, so as to be like a river. Whoever desires to go into the sea to look at it or to rule it, if he didn't go through the narrow entrance, how could he come into the broad part? Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Another thing also, there is a city built and set in a plain country and full of all good things, but its entrance is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, having fire on the right hand and deep water on the left. There is one path, only one path. Between them both, even between the fire and the water, so that only one person can go there at once. If this city is now given to a man for an inheritance, if the heir doesn't pass the danger before him, how will he receive his inheritance? I said, that is so, Lord. Then he said to me, even so also is Israel's portion. I made the world for their sakes. What is now done was decreed when Adam transgressed my statutes. So these words this angel is kicking is directly from HaWah. And he's giving that real rap, that real spillionaire, man, to give clarity to the Khan Esdras. Even so also is Israel's portion. I made the world for their sakes. What is now done was decreed when Adam transgressed my statutes. I made the whole world for your sakes. What do you mean, where's your inheritance? You giving that up when you're out of code. When he didn't listen, now you ain't listening. And what's that apple of Eden about, man? The seed of discord. We're gonna get some more of that. You know, we're gonna keep that investigation going into the apple of Eden, man. That golden fruit, that golden nugget on the Catalan map. Let's go. Hey, welcome to Prester John 105. Can you believe it? 105 Prester Johns. Can we go to 200? You know, if we go to 200, man. When we go to 200, man, we're going to be exclusively at 432thedrop.com, man. All praise HaWah. You know, everything's an opportunity. You know, our website was being jammed up, so, you know, I decided to kick some more Prester Johns right here on YouTube, and I believe that's the right thing because a lot of new wave surfers are right here. So I hope this is a good intro for you. Yeah, just surf the wave. See, I mean, the beautiful thing about the water is that you never know what the tide is bringing in. You never know, man. Every time you wake up, top of the soul bowl, you never know what that water's bringing in, man. So keep yourself open, man. Don't let yourself get jammed up, hijacked. Don't let no one control your frequency. Don't let no one control your energy. You have no power over you, my nugget. You got the con, right? We got the con, and we are Drop Nation. We got that wall. I mean, Edris is talking about the water, the fire, the water, the narrow path to the open water. How you gonna get to the open water if you don't go through the narrow path? Yeah, I made the world for their sakes. I made the world for their sakes. What is now done was decreed by, or when Adam transgressed my statutes, then the entrances of this world were now made narrow. Oh, whoa! So that changed that apple of discord. It changed the path itself. You had an open path, right? Now we got a narrow path. And this wasn't one man's decision according to the story, right? This is two people's decision. This is feminine energy and masculine energy making a choice, right? The dragon in the garden says, hey, man, look, you ain't never seen this clearly before. HaWah said, don't eat that fruit yet, man. He didn't say never, ever, 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 ever. It just wasn't time, The command at this point was don't eat the fruit. It's like you telling your child, don't cross the street. I'm not saying never to cross the street, but not now. I mean, there's cars coming, there's buses coming, there's random hijacks walking around. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, stay close to Abba. That's what the command is. Don't see it in two dimensions. And it's not like HaWah doesn't want Adam to see clearly and Eve to see clearly, HaWah to see clearly. There's an order to how you get your information. There's a vibration to it. You don't feed a child or a baby. You don't feed a newborn baby a big plate of steak, right? They shouldn't be eating steak, right? A newborn baby. And in many ways, our diet should be like a newborn child. Ain't nothing purer than mama's milk, man. So we got to get that ama. So the path was open. Then it got narrow. Once the outer coldness hit, the transgression hit, what happened? The entrances, verse 12. Pull up these links, man. I do a lot to make sure I get these, all the links we go through right to you. You don't have to wait for a Prester pack to drop. You don't got to, pay for information over here. Nah, you want to support, you support. But we always have dropped the information straight up. I don't monetize the Prester Johns. I don't monetize all the full drops we drop. There's no advertisements on these unless they force it. You know what I'm saying? The hijack's always busy. But, we monetize our drop clips only now to raise money for Joy World. And that's it, man. So you see we building AOP to all my Nagas contributing, my steady contributors. Please click the links below. Scroll down and click that link. Please support Joy World because that's what we're building it for. But you don't get no jam-ups, advertisements, monetizations on our Prester Johns or full-length drops that we drop when we've been dropping. You don't get no interruptions. I don't want nobody interrupting our flow, man. So Halal HaWah, this is how we run our flow, our channel right here. This is only what we do on YouTube is only like a slither of what Drop Nation is doing behind the scenes. So never get it twisted thinking that this is about YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We enjoy teaching, but we also enjoy building, man. You never know who we building with and how we building, and that's the beauty. You know what I'm saying? We keep it on, we do our best to protect our Nagas, privacy, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's a private flow. It's a private building. Sometimes we come out, we'll show you us, enjoying the land here and there. But other than that, it's a private build. You don't see us on Zoom every week, doing all that. But look out for the Soul Bone podcast, man. That's a way to see the cons, have a conversation and also contribute to that. So Halal HaWah to the dragons on the wall for keeping the water flowing at 432thedrop.com. And look out for us, man, exclusively at 432 The Drop. That's our home, man. That's the home of Drop Nation. Many are trying to duplicate. There's many phantoms and duplications, but there's only one spiral, man. There's only one wave, and we all the way up. We 9 above the barrier. That noon is our seed. The seed belongs to us. The 9 is us, and the spiral is us. Sometimes you in the spiral, you don't know if you're going up or down in that spiral. It looks the same until you realize. And I hope all my Nagas realize before it's too late. If you're going on a downward spiral, it's in your control, to reverse that frequency, man, and get on the one, man. Get on the good foot, man. Start flying 9 above, man. Halal HaWah. Let's go. That water. Prester John's about the water. If this is your first Prester John, if you belly flop in Prester John 105, congratulations. It takes a lot of stones to belly flop in Prester 105 and have never seen any Prester John. Hey man, click the playlist below. We're gonna make sure we put the playlist there so you can surf the wave. Hey, welcome. This is what we talk about, man. That water, man. Welcome. We ain't talking about nothing crazy. We're about to start talking about little David Reubeni, man. But it's all good. It's all good. Maybe some of that Daniel El Kun. Matter of fact, let me put this in now before it slips my mind. I want to get back into that Daniel, man. Daniel El Kumisi. Yeah, you can spell Kun with a Q or with a K. You can spell with a Q or K. All right, that's just my reminder to get on the Killiab flow, because Killiab is the second son of King David with Abigail Dawi. You know what I'm saying? So we on that Kun. Remember what Kun means. It's a good time to also talk about the Kun meaning. I'll make sure you might be a brand new wave surfer. Just because we in 105 doesn't mean we're going to forget about you, man. We got you, my nuggets, man. What link was that? Hey, forgot what this link was, but hopefully we get some type of good definition, man, for you to rock with, man. Oh, yeah, this is one of my favorite links right here. This Abarim publications. Got a lot of drop, man. We're going to get on this cold flow, because remember, generally, we're just talking about rising, standing, and if you're spiraling up, if you truly are on that 9 spiral flow, you got that noon. That means you are rising up. So if you're going to be on it, be on it. Keep rising. Keep the water flow. We're just talking about rising up. All right, cool. All right. Let's get a little more of this Esdras, second Esdras, chapter 7. We in verse 12. Then the entrances of this world were made narrow, sorrowful. You going through, some jam ups. You feel like they targeting you, man. You feel like you're getting picked on. It happened after the transgression. And toilsome. You tired of working? You tired of being a slave? It happened after the transgression. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and involved in great toils, for the entrances of this greater world are wide and safe, and produce fruit of immortality. So this narrow path is what you might be feeling, right? Because this narrow path is harder for that water to flow, We mad at them damming up our dams, these damn dams, and flooding out our Naga cities, but that path was created by us being out of code, serving other powers, idols. Toilsome, you so tired of laboring for a boss, you need paper and plastic. It's the narrow entrance that was created by the transgression. It's been a long time without a king, Israel. Hosea 3, long time without a king. That's created by the transgression. Toilsome, sorrowful, narrow. But listen, there are but few and evil. They are but few and evil, full of peril, and involved in great toils. For the entrances, verse 13, verse 13. The entrances of the greater world are wide and safe. We have to get there. But we gotta go through the narrow entrance. A baby gotta go through the narrow entrance, to get to this greater world, right? To be born. And Edris talks about, all the great ones, and how come they're all not just born at once and all that. And HaWah lets him know, man, you want a woman to be in labor with 10 babies at once, man? Is that what you're saying? Amah's gonna provide as Amah provides, and this energy is going to, continue, as promised in Psalms 89, that the seed in the covenant is forever. We're talking King David. If you're brand new, you're surfing the wave, King David is a priest king of Prester. So to continue the story of David, the immortality of things, you gotta, look at these titles and say, okay, are they gonna call him King David, or will they call him Prester? And these other, folklores, right? These other mythological books, and everything happening in the Far East, Far India Superior, was mythological. It was a myth. They knew it was real. They just turn it into mythos. They turn it into science fiction, marvel, right? But what is a marvel? A marvel is a wonder, my naga. You are a wonder to this hijack. They wrote about you. They dream about you. You got the cities of gold, the paradisical rivers, the Eden flow. You're guarding the secrets, and you don't even know what you're guarding, but you're guarding something very special over here. They thought they could invade you forever in America. They thought they could come over here and do a immortal invasion, a perpetual slavery. Ain't no slavery lasts forever, fool. Ain't no invasion lasts forever, fool. And ain't no kingdom lasts forever, except HaWah and what is promised by the Creator. But that's to the remnant that chooses up. You want to get distracted? That's up to you. You want to choose up? That's up to you. You want to spiral up? That's up to you. You want to spiral down? That's up to you. Choose your path, man. The narrow entrance or the greater world that's wide and safe and produces fruit of immortality. Verse 14. So if those who live don't enter these difficult and vain things, they can never receive those that are reversed for them. The reverse of difficult is what? Easy, wide, and safe. The reverse of vanity is what? The real thing, right? The truth, man. The truth, man. So how you gonna get there if you don't go through these difficult and vain matrix? You gotta go through the matrix. The matrix is vanity 101. But we caused it with our transgression. Now we gotta go through this difficult, toilsome, sorrowful time. Jacob's trouble. Wow. These vain things, these holidays, this paper money and plastic cards, social credit scores, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, tales from the dead, tales from the crypt. These vain things, they can never receive those that are reserved for them if you don't go through the difficult times. HaWah. Now therefore, why are you disturbed, seeing you are but a corruptible man? Why are you moved, since you are immortal? Why haven't you considered in your mind that which is to come, rather than that which is present? Then I answered and said, Sovereign Lord, behold, you have ordained in your law that the righteous will inherit these things, but that the ungodly will perish. The righteous, therefore, will suffer difficult things and hope for easier things, but those who have done wickedly have suffered the difficult things and yet will not see the easier things. He said to me, you are not a judge above HaWah, neither do you have more understanding than HaWah, Most High. I said, Most High. I said, Most High over everything, boss. Remember Mama saying Proverbs 8, I am understanding. Man, you got more understanding than Mama? Than Pops? Yes, let many perish who now live, rather than that the law of HaWah, which is set before them, be despised. For HaWah strictly commanded those who came, even as they came, what they should do to live, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Observe the code, right? Quantum physics. The particle knows when it's being observed. That is to be a witness. How will you collapse the wave pattern? As the head or the tail. You're looking through their lens. They're all seeing eye. You're observing through their lens. You the tail. You observe through HaWah's lens. You keep the code. You're the head. Hit the easy button. Bread is that simple. No cap on my number 2 pencil. We got that water. Let's go. Verse 22, nevertheless, they weren't obedient to him. They did not keep the code, but spoke against him and imagined for themselves vain things. They want them riches. They want that dollar bill, y'all. They want that big ass house, right? They make cunning plans of wickedness. They want your land. They want your things, man. They want your stuff. And said, moreover, of the Most High that he doesn't exist. Oh, don't we hear this today? Prove your power exists, right? They say Big Bang Theory, right? And they didn't know his ways. They despised his laws and denied his covenants. They haven't been faithful to his statutes and haven't performed his works. Therefore, address for the empty are empty things. And for the full are the full things. For behold, the time will come, and it will be, when these signs of which I told you before will come to pass, that the bride will appear, even the city coming forth, and she will be seen who now is withdrawn from the earth. So the bride is the city. Whose city? What city? Whoever is delivered from the foretold evils will see my wonders. Here's their hijack they like to put in and Christianize Edris, man. For my son, who? Should we go back to Psalms 89? Oh, yeah. It's fun to do this every time, to catch the hijacks slipping in their translations, man. I mean, it's an honor, man. You know what I'm saying? To, really make sure we got clarity when HaWah's talking first. Boom. Remember, we got this. Verse 27, Psalms 89. He shall call unto me, thou art my Father, my God, the rock of my salvation. I also will appoint him firstborn, highest of the kings of the earth. Forever will I keep for him my mercy, and my covenant shall stand fast. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children forsake my law, walk not in my statutes. Oh, man. Ain't this what we talking about with Edris? And keep not my commandments, then I will visit their transgression with the rod. Ain't this what we talking about with Edris? And their iniquity with strokes. Ain't this what we talking about with Edris? The narrow path, the transgression. You want to get to the greater world, right? But my mercy will I not break off from him. I ain't ever going to stop being merciful to the seed of who? Let's go. Nor will I be false to my faithfulness. My covenant will I not profane nor alter that which is gone out of my lips. Once have I sworn my holiness, surely I would not be false unto David. His seed shall endure forever. So David got the Khan, and the seed of David is forever. And Ezra is saying, how much longer shall we endure? Just know that we endure forever. We don't have to endure the narrow path forever, but we endure. The remnant endures. And who's the firstborn? Yeah, you ready? I will appoint him firstborn. Right. So by the time we get these translations, you already know the Dodge the hijack. For my son we firstborn will be revealed with those who are with him, and those who remain will rejoice for 400 years. After these things, after these years, my son we, remember we talking anointed, will die, along with all those who have the breath of life. Then the world will be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as in the first beginning, so that no human will remain. After 7 days, the world that is not yet awake will be raised up, and what is corruptible will die. The earth will restore those who are asleep in it, and the dust, those who dwell in it. In silence in the secret places will deliver those souls that were committed to them. So even when they try to Christian it up with their Christs and their Jesuses, why, we see clearly. Now, even when they say, you know we're not talking about that JC, that Christ. We're talking about something that's promised to be forever, because he still is restored who is asleep. So no one is truly dying. Then the world will be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as in the first beginning, so that no human will remain. But this ain't death, my nigga. Why? Because after 7 days, the world that is not yet awake will be raised up. So even though nothing's left in it, Some must be awake because, the world that is not yet awake will be raised up, and what is corruptible will die. So instead of this sun dying, whether we talking, the Prester himself, like a Moshe flow, where his body is unabated, right? His eye was never dim. His life force was never abated. Deuteronomy, what's that, 34? I mean, this is interesting. It's interesting, especially when you got a dragonfly perspective. You want to apply this to JC? Go crazy. Translations, right? Oh man, too bad we're not able to get the concordance on this right here, man. Maybe somebody got it. I would love to see what else they're putting as the translations, man. This is pretty amazing. Let me see some other translations. We got that water. All right, just digging all these translations, man. I'm really intrigued as to if everyone translates this the same way. Of course not, right? So, I'm picking them right here around 30, because that's kind of where we are. Okay, hold up. Let's go right here. Let's go to 25. Therefore, Ezra, or Edris, empty things are for the empty, full things are for the full. Look, the time is coming when the signs appear that I told you about in advance, and the city will appear, appearing as a bride, and the land that is now hidden will be openly displayed. Ain't that a little different already? Hold up, man. What they say over here? Man, I'm glad we surfing a wave, man. My knockers got the drop. Let's go back. Bride will appear even as the city comes forth, and she will be seen who now is withdrawn from the earth. And this CEB transliteration or translation, bride appearing as a bride, and instead of the city, it says the land that is now hidden will be openly displayed. Whoa. Whoa. Ping, pow. Hey, call me Hano. For those that are able to understand, let them understand. So is this referring to the land beyond the poles? Worlds beyond the poles? Is this referring to the land that's under the water, the treasures under the water, huh? Naga cities underwater. And what's this JC Christ business about, right? Why would it be in this translation here? So you could just take one translation and go crazy Christian, My son JC is what you said, huh? Whoever is delivered from the foretold evils will see my wonders, for my son JC will be revealed with those who are with him. What does it say in the CEB translation? Everyone who is rescued from the evils foretold will see my wonders. My son, the anointed one, will be revealed. Whoa. You got that water. That's why, praise HaWah for that Ruah. Immediately when I saw this JC, what I do? I changed it to David because I said, these Christians have slid JC into this translation. Look at these people. Look at these people. This is blasphemy. We call them slipping, boss. All it says is an anointed one, man. All it says is anointed one. Verse 28, my son, the anointed one, will be revealed along with those who are with him, right? Don't that go along with one shepherd forever, David, whom I will raise up to him, Jeremiah 30, Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 30. Don't they go along with Hosea 3? Children of Israel will be what? Returned. They will return. Seek HaWah directly, the Creator directly, and David your king. Jeremiah 30, whom I will raise up unto them. My son, the anointed one, who's the firstborn son. Psalms 89, I will appoint him firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth. JC is a straight up hijack. Matthew 28, all power's been given to me. How, sway? You're not the highest of the kings of the earth. You don't get no mercy with their Christ JC. You get mercy with the anointed one because forever. Wow. Forever will I keep for him my mercy. You don't get no covenant with that fake ass JC because, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make endure forever. You don't get no endurance with that silly ass hijack over there, that Zeus over there. His seed, David's seed, will I make to endure forever as his throne, as the days of heaven. Highest of the kings of the earth. Forever will I keep for him my mercy. I will appoint him firstborn. I have made a covenant. Because forever is mercy built. Psalms 89, verse 3. In the very heavens does he establish thy faithfulness, man. Ain't nothing like a faithful creator, and there's nothing like a faithful child. Ain't nothing like a faithful Ak, a respectful Ak, a loyal Ak, Aqua. That's establishment. Drop Nation, we've been building 7 years to establish our foundation. And Halal HaWah, we out of here, baby. Drop Nation is solidified. Drop Nation is unified. Don't let no hijacks fool you. Their transgression lead to a narrow path. But there's a greater world. And there's a greater covenant than they're telling us. I have made a covenant with my chosen. There's a greater chosen one. There's an anointed one. To be chosen is to be anointed. Firstborn, right? So they want to tell us, chosen one, right? My son, the anointed one. Who's the chosen one? And why they try to lie to us and bear false witness on HaWah and give us this JC. And then give us what? Their hijack. And what's this land about, man? This city coming for. And she will be seen who is now withdrawn from the earth. All right, so we'll keep going in this translation as long as we got a backup to corroborate, do some comparison with, clarity with. Because it don't say JC. It says, my son, the anointed one. Who's the chosen one? I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David. If you're a seed of David, that means forever, forever will I establish your seed and build up your throne to all generations. You think that don't include today? You think we over here on some play? You think we over here for you to be playing with? You think you could play with this frequency? You think you could play in this frequency, man, and not get jammed up? You can't play with Amma. You can't play with that wall. I've sworn unto David, who I say. I have found David, who I say. I have anointed David with my holy oil. Have I anointed him? Who's the anointed one? My son, the anointed one. Who's the anointed one? It's right in your face, man. Psalms 89. I have found David my servant with my holy oil. I have anointed him. Who's the anointed one? Come on, man. Got 'em. Phantoms, duplications, and they trying to slide in JC. How dare you, man? So what does it mean that this anointed will die? And should it be translated as die, or are we just talking about transformation? Is Prester going to die, or is he going to transform as he's being raised up? And what's this land business, man? This land that's hidden, that will be openly displayed. I mean, that's pretty telling, huh? My son, the anointed one, will be revealed along with those who are with him, and those who remain will rejoice for 400 years. After these years, my son, the anointed one, it don't say Christ, it don't say Jesus, right? We're saying anointed one. I have found David my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him. With my hand shall be established. With whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact from him. Who else does HaWah talk about like this? There ain't no confusion over here, boss. There ain't no second fiddle over here. David plays second fiddle to nobody. Nobody. He is the highest of the kings of the earth. Also will I appoint him first born the highest of the kings of the earth. Who's the anointed one? Well, I know who it ain't. Translations. Huh? I know who it ain't, boss. So is it a death that this anointed one, firstborn, appointed, highest of the kings of the earth, is he dying or is he being raised up? And is this where they're hijacking on this JC story, right? This raising up. This raising up of not just the Prester, but of everyone who is a remnant that is chosen to be a witness in these latter days. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is a time of trouble unto Jacob, but out of it shall he be saved. By who, JC? Nah, David don't pray to JC. David talks directly to HaWah. HaWah comes out with dragon fire, right? Psalms 18. Smoke out of his nose, fire out of his mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day, says HaWah, that I will break his yoke from off your neck and will burst your bonds, and strangers will no more make you their slaves, man. But they shall serve the Creator and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Jeremiah 30. Another witness, this is the Prester investigation. So as another corroborating flow that someone is being raised up, like Malachi 4, Elijah's coming back, right? Elijah, the Tishbite, the wanderer, El HaWah, Dawid, whom I will raise up unto them. Who's being raised up? I mean, this hijack translation is even saying that those who remain will rejoice 400 years, and after these years, my son, the anointed, will die along with all those who have the breath of life. So it's not just some martyrdom of David, right? It is everyone being transformed. Everyone who has HaWah's breath will be going through this transformation for 7 days. Like as the first beginning, so that no human will remain. And after 7 days, the world that is not yet awake will be raised up, will be raised up, whom I will raise up unto them, right? We're talking David the Khan, Halal HaWah, whom I will raise up. Khan. So this is an interesting perspective that we haven't really dug, deep enough on, and now that we can see them hijacking with their Christ business, we see this is a serious ass hijack, And what does it say over here in the CEB translation? All right. After these years, my son, the anointed one, and all who have human breath will die. The world will be turned back to primeval silence for 7 days. So you got like a 7-day moment of silence, as in the earliest beginnings, so that no one is left alive. After 7 days, the world that isn't yet awake will be roused, and the corrupt world will die. So after 7 days, the world that isn't yet awake will be roused. I mean, what does it mean? Leave a comment, man. Let me know what you think. And the corrupt world will die. So somehow, you know what I'm saying, the corrupt world is popping off still after this 7 days. Interesting. The earth will give back those who sleep, and the dust will give back and silence those who dwell in it. So no one's really dying. Everybody's rising. And the resting places will give back the souls that have been entrusted to them. The Most High will be revealed on the throne of judgment, and mercy will pass away. Patience will be withdrawn, and only judgment will remain. Truth will arise. Faith will recover strength, and the works will have their consequences. Reward will come about. Righteous deeds will awake, and unrighteous deeds won't sleep. The lake of torment will appear, and across from it will be the place of rest. Hell's furnace will be displayed, and across from it will be delightful paradise. Then the Most High will speak to the nations that have been raised. Look and understand whom it is you have denied, whom you haven't served, and whose ordinances you have despised. Look to one side and to the other. Here is delight and rest, and over there is fire and torment. He will say these things to them on the judgment day, a day that has no sun or moon or stars, no cloud or thunder or lightning, nor wind or water or air, no darkness or evening or morning, no summer, no spring, no heat, no winter or frost or cold, no hail or rain or dew, no noon or night or early dawn, no shining or brightness or light, but only the splendor of the light of the Most High. Halal HaWah's splendor is all we need. All will then begin to see what things are in store for them. It will take a period of about a week of years. This is my judgment and the arrangements made for it. I have shown this to you alone. Whew. I mean, that's just like, it just hit a little different this time, hearing about this rise and death and rising, but we know about the rising because what is HaWah revealing in Jeremiah about David? They're going to serve the Creator and David their King, whom I will raise up unto them. He ain't the only one rising. The earth is giving back that frequency, right? He ain't the only one on coon. He ain't the only one rising up. We're talking that coon talk. Okay. Yeah, man. So a lot of times you see like the king or Kim. Kim is also cool. Kim is also cool. Feminine now, meaning of rising up. That's Kima. All right. You see Kim here. Qim. Which is interesting because you got names like Kimberly today, like Kim or Kimberly, which Kim is also cool, right? To rise. Interesting. Ah, look at that. As a masculine noun, Kim could mean someone who rises against someone. So it could mean an adversary. Who's rising against you, man? Gotta dodge them hijacks, man. Halal HaWah. So let's get it back over here. Keep going. I answered and said, verse 45, O HaWah, O Lord. Because, he's talking to the angel who's speaking on behalf of HaWah, or the dragon. And I say now, blessed are those who are now alive and keep your commandments. They KTC. But what about those for whom I prayed? For who is there of those who are alive who has not sinned, and who of the children of men hasn't transgressed your covenant? Now I say that the world to come will bring delight to few, but torments to many, for an evil heart has grown up in us, which has led astray from these commandments and has brought us into corruption. An evil heart, man, we're seeing it right now. Our people on demon time, right? Everybody want to kill each other. They think it's cool. Nah, I think my niggas is rising up. They're saying, man, this don't make no sense to slay my brother no more. Brought us into corruption and into the ways of death, man. It has shown us the paths of perdition and removed us far from life, and that not a few only, but nearly all who have been created. He answered me, listen to me, and I will instruct you. I will admonish you again. For this reason, the Most High has not made one world, but two. Let's go. For because you have said that the just are not many, but few, and the ungodly abound, hear the explanation. If you have just a few precious stones, will you add them to lead and clay? Whoa. He said, you just said it's few. So imagine, man, you had just a few precious stones. Will you add them to clay or lead? I said, Lord, how could that be? He said to me, not only that, but ask the earth, and she will tell you. Defer to her, and she will declare to you. Mama gonna tell you. Say to her, you produce gold, silver, brass, iron, lead, and clay, but silver is more abundant than gold, and brass more than silver, and iron than brass, and lead than clay, lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge therefore which things are precious and to be deserved, what is abundant and what is rare. I said, O sovereign Lord, wow, that which is plentiful is less worth, for that which is more rare is more precious. He answered, weigh within yourself the things that you have thought, for he who has what is hard to get rejoices over him who has what is plentiful. Whoa. Wow. So he's, man, this is just cold X, man. He's giving him to him code X style, man. That X is the towel. He's bringing him right to the towel, right to the mark, the sign, the covenant, right? Letting them know. You have something that's hard to get, it's worth more, right? So what's it worth to you? To get through this narrow path, to get to the greater world, what's it worth to you? Verse 60. So also is the judgment which I have promised, for I will rejoice over the few that will be saved, because these are those who have made my glory to prevail now, and through them my name is now honored. Halal HaWah. I won't grieve over the multitude of those who perish, man. We ain't tripping on no haters, man. No hijacks. You got hijacks near, you got hijacks far. We ain't tripping on them. We ain't grieving over them, man. For these are those who are now like mist and have become like flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly and are extinguished. I answered, O earth, why have you produced, if the mind is made out of dust like all other created things, for it would have been better than the dust itself, that the dust itself had been unborn, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us, and because of this we are tormented. And I want to get more on this dust, man, because looking at that show Dark Materials, or His Dark Materials, or something like that on Netflix. It's Netflix. I think it's Netflix. They had this whole thing about dust. Dust coming out the Aurora Borealis, Northern Lights, they're saying they call that dust. And they're saying this dust, just like the apple of Eden flow, is responsible for the discord or the transgression. That's how the church. But there's different worlds and dimensions, and so you got one world that is regular, like dust is just dust, and another world, dust is like responsible for supposedly all the free will and chaos that the church would call chaos. You know what I'm saying? So they teach the people in that world the dust is the problem, where it's all the reverse, that the dust is you know what I'm saying, it's creation, it's HaWah, it's understanding, it's Ama, but they call it dust. It makes me just think about dust a little different when I read it in the script. O earth, why have you produced, if the mind is made out of dust? Is the mind made out of just dust, or is it made out of dust? You know what I'm saying? And what is dust anyway? Let the race of men be lament, and the animals of the field be glad. Let all who are born lament, but let the four-footed animals and the livestock rejoice, for it is far better with them than with us. For they don't look forward to judgment, neither do they know of torments or of salvation promised to them after death. So he's giving that argument that a lot of Nagas will give, like, hey, look, man, I don't want to be judged. It's better to be an animal. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to know about no torments and salvation and anything promised. It's better just to be them, man. If we can't get it right, or we got to worry about all those that are perishing, just a few not perishing. Yeah, it's good to be the few, but it's also hard to watch someone you love perish, man. Not get through that narrow path. Verse 67, for what does it profit us that we will be preserved alive, yet be afflicted with torment? For all who are born are defiled with iniquities, are full of sins, and laden with transgressions. If after death we were not to come into judgment, perhaps it would have been better for us. He answered me, when the Most High made the world and Adam and all those who came from him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to the judgment. Now understand from your own words. For you have said that the mind grows with us. They, therefore, who dwell on the earth will be tormented for this reason, that having understanding they have committed iniquity, receiving commandments, have not kept them. They're not KTC. And having obtained a law, the code, having got the code, they dealt unfaithfully with that which they received. What then will they have to say in judgment? Or how will they answer in the last times? For how long a time has the Most High been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sakes, but because of the times which he has foreordained? I answered, if I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, show this also to your servant, whether after death, even now, when every one of us gives up his soul, We will be kept in rest until those times come in which you renew the creation, or whether we will be tormented immediately. Good question, right? He answered me, I will show you this also. But don't join yourself with those who are scorners. Whoa. If they don't believe, they don't believe. They want to talk their wing wham. Let them talk their wing wham, man. You ain't got to go back and forth with no scorner. They're here to scorn. Some people are attached to static. They're attracted to drama. They're attracted to murmurs and, talking, what I'm saying? Just, vain things, thinking vain things. Their actions are vain. They scorn HaWah's works, you know what I'm saying? Don't join yourself to those who scorn HaWah, nor count yourself with those who are tormented. For you have a treasure of works laid up with the Most High. My nigga, you put that work in, right? Every day, top of the soul bone, we putting that work in, whether we doing it with our family, with our, wife and children, man, with our tribe, man, with, just, tribing up with ourselves, you know what I'm saying? With the Most High, like, you put that treasure of work in. Don't worry about no haters, man. Don't worry about no hijacks. Don't worry about no scorners, man. Don't count yourself with those. They might try to count themselves with you. They might call themselves, hey, man, I'm with you, man. I'm with HaWah. I'm with Drive Nation. Nah, man, don't count yourself with them scorners, man. You know the frequency of a scorner. They love the static, man. They love to scorn. They love to talk about their problems, your problems. For you have a treasure of works laid up with the Most High. Halal HaWah. People see the fruit. People see the fruit of your labor, my naga. Drop Nation, people see our fruit. They seeing our fruit all across the plain. Nagas is eating because of the fruit that's being, fresh fruit being produced, my naga, from the foundations and the root of the truth that you've been spreading. The treasures of works laid up with the Most High, but it won't be shown you until the last times. For concerning death, the teaching is, when the decisive sentence has gone out from the Most High, that a man shall die, as the Ruach leaves the body, to return again to him who gave it. It adores the glory of the Most High first of all. You don't get tormented right away and this and that, unless you that type of hijack. I don't know. But what we're reading here, man, is that you are being adored in the glory of the Most High first of all. It adores the glory of the Most High. And if it is one of those who have been scorners and have not kept the way, you got that covetous on your heart bone, you bearing false witness on your noggin on purpose, you manipulating your fellow ox and aquas into being scorners with you. And if it is one of those who have been scorners and have not kept the way of the Most High, and that have despised his law, and who hate those who rock with HaWah, they say fear. We know what that means. That you're obedient to the law, that you're obedient to the code. They hate you because you're obedient to HaWah. These spirits won't enter the habitations, won't enter into habitation. They don't have nowhere to go. Mama don't accept them. They will wander and be in torments immediately, ever grieving and sad in 7 ways. The first way, because they have despised the law of the Most High. The second way, because they can't now make a good repentance that they may live. The third way, they will see the reward laid up for those who have believed the covenants of the Most High. I will appoint him firstborn. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant. Do you believe the covenant of the Most High, or you still want to make this Jesus? The third way, they will see the reward laid up for those who have believed the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they will consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they will see the dwelling places of the others guarded by dragons, which they call angels. Remember, this is a Christianized translation. With great quietness. The sixth way, they will see how immediately some of them will pass into torment. The seventh way, which is more grievous than all the aforesaid ways, because they will pine away in confusion and be consumed with shame and will be withered up by fears, seeing the glory of the Most High. They see, don't let HaWah be in Psalms 18 form with smoke out of his nose and fire out of his mouth. They will be withered up by fear, seeing the glory of the Most High, before whom they have sinned while living, and before whom they will be judged in the last time. Let them see a dragon, they're going to go crazy, man. Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High, when they will be separated from their mortal body. In the time that they lived in it, they painfully served the Most High. Let's go. Sometimes my niggas be like, man, I'm keeping it cold, but it's still so painful. Right. Let's go. 88. Now this is the order of those who have kept the code, kept the ways of HaWah, when they will be separated from their mortal body. So you don't die, Managa. It's just a separation from your mortal body into your immortal body, right? So in the time that they lived in it, they painfully served the Most High and were in jeopardy every hour, right? Jacob's trouble, that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they will see the great joy, the glory of him who takes them up, for they will have rest in 7 orders. Let's go. The first order, woo, let's get it, man. And welcome to Prester 105. It don't get no more priestly than this. Let's go. We're talking the code, the order. The first order, because they have labored with great effort to overcome the evil thought which is fashioned together with them, that it might not lead them astray from life unto death. You kept the code, which means you overcame that evil within yourself, that wickedness, man. Halal HaWah. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the testimony which he who fashioned them gives concerning them, that while they lived, they kept the code, kept the law, which was given them in trust. The fourth order, they understand the rest which, being gathered in their chambers, they now enjoy with great quietness. They got their Shabbat guarded by the angels, guarded by dracons, and the glory that awaits them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped from that which is corruptible, and that they will inherit that which is to come, which they see in addition the difficulty and the pain from which they have been delivered. and the spacious liberty which they will receive with joy and immortality. You got that water. The sixth order, when it is shown to them how their face will shine like the sun. Let's go. We out of here, baby. Out of here, boss. And how they will be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all the previous mentioned orders, because they will rejoice with confidence. We are confident cons. And because they will be bold without confusion, HaWah, and will be glad without fear, for they hurry to see the face of him who in their lifetime they served, and from whom they will receive their reward and glory. You are hurrying to see the face of HaWah, which makes this seventh order greater than all of them. Wow. This is the order of the souls of the just, as from henceforth is announced to them. Previously mentioned are the ways of torture, which those who would not give heed will suffer from. After this, I answered, will time therefore be given to the souls after they are separated from the bodies, that they may see what you have described to me? He said, their freedom will be for 7 days, that for 7 days they may see the things you have been told. And afterwards they will be gathered together in their habitations. I answered, if I have found favor in your sight, show further to me your servant. I just want to know for all of us, man. Let's go. Whether in the day of judgment the just will be able to intercede for the ungodly. Ain't that another great question? Can you help somebody out, right? Can you hook somebody up? Can you intercede for someone out of code, right? The ungodly, or to entreat the Most High for them? Can you hook them up, right? Can you talk to the Most High? Can you get them in the club? Can you get them in a party? Imagine this is a nice, righteous party, a nice club spot for the righteous. Can you help get them through the door? If they don't know HaWah, whether fathers for children, they're just popping off, man. I'll get a little more, and we're going to continue this in 106. Let's go. I still got some David Reubeni, but this is amazing, man. Amazing drop. So whether fathers for children, or children for parents, or kindred for kindred, or kinsfolk for the next of kin, or friends for those who are most dear, he answered me. Last part we'll get is this. Since you have found favor in my sight, I will show you this also. The day of judgment is a day of decision, and displays to all the seal of truth, even as now a father doesn't send his son, or a son his father, or a master his slave, or a friend him that is most dear, that in his place he may understand, or sleep, or eat, or be healed. So no one will ever pray for another in that day, neither will one lay a burden on another, for then everyone will each bear his own righteousness or unrighteousness. My naga, that body bags the whole JC New Testament flow. That this jabroni's going to get on the cross and die for your sins. How's he going to die for the ungodly who's out of code? Because of the blood of JC, you can now forget about the 10 Commandments, right? You could just do all kinds of whatever and then come back and ask for forgiveness through the blood of JC, right? It gave the hijack a loophole, a hijack loophole through another sacrifice of another person who's supposed to be the firstborn, but ain't the firstborn, who's supposed to be the anointed, but ain't the anointed, ain't the appointed, and definitely ain't the highest king of the kings of the earth, man. Never went to war for you like David, like Joshua. Let's go. Like Moshe. Real Presters, man. It's the Prester hour, man. We do it for the real Presters that keep the water flowing. Sometimes we gotta slow it down. Too many mind ball. Can't nobody intercede for you. Everyone will each bear his own righteousness or unrighteousness, man. Halal HaWah. Now it's time to talk about some David Reubeni. Why not? Hey man, HaWah also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. Remember the covenants with David. You can't magnify yourself above Judah. The scepter is with Judah. You know what I'm saying? Always, man. Genesis tells us that, right? So the meaning of the scepter is with Judah is that there's one shepherd, David, Khan forever, whom I will raise up to you. So Hosea 3:5 again, see Kawhi and David, right? So many witnesses. This is just more witnesses. Ahab JB, Dragons, View 99, man. Kawhi will save the tents of Judah first. This is order. Now, how many gonna be jealous of this? Covetous knockers, right? You rather fight against Judah than let Judah be raised up first. Be on kum first, right? Out of order from Hawa. You rather fight against David than have David be one shepherd forever, right? You rather put Yahweh against David. Make up a Yahweh. Make up a new son of God, right? A new firstborn. A new anointing. Nah, man. That new anointed claims to be the seed of David, son of David. Why? He's an immaculate conception, boss. It's not enough to be the son of God. He's a son of David too, as an immaculate conception. He ain't got no daddy, but he's a son of David. Nah. They tied JC into David because David got the keys. Judah got the keys. Genesis tells us the scepters with Judah. That's why they got to tie into the bloodline. You can't magnify yourself against Judah. That's why they got to tie JC into the bloodline. So he can magnify himself, right? Nah, that's Hijack City. We dodged them hijacks. ThaWaDa taught us that. In that day shall HaWah defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them, even the weakest among us, on that day shall be as David. And the house of David shall be as HaWah. More witnesses. And the angel and the Drakan of HaWah before them. And so all y'all are gonna be as the dragon of HaWah. All y'all gonna be as HaWah as what? That means you won. That means you got one source, one connection. That means you are plugged in, my nigga. That means you are popping off. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour into the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit, the ruach of grace and of supplication. Mercy forever, Khan. Psalms 89, mercy forever, covenant forever. Forever is my mercy built, right? And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. and they shall mourn for him. Look upon me, whom they have pierced. That means you have caused affliction to the Creator. You have hurt the heart of HaWah. You have pierced HaWah with your transgression. That doesn't mean JC being pierced through the wrist on the cross. Christian, fall back. You pierced HaWah, and they shall mourn for him as one mourns for his only son. And they shall look upon me, not JC. And they shall mourn for him, HaWah, as one mourns for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one is in bitterness for his firstborn. Here we go again. We just talking ThaWaDa, House of David, right? Zechariah 12, Ahab, JB. Hey, Matt Gomez got some drop, man. He's, sharing the connection, right? Keep the codes. Exodus 20, Psalms 89, Jeremiah 30, Isaiah 11. Let's get that right quick. Ezekiel 37, Hosea 3. So, multiple witnesses. My niggas, man. Man, my niggas got my back, man. I got real niggas in this classroom. It's an honor to share this classroom with my real niggas. Every classroom got a professor. But over here, man, we got, many niggas that, drop that drop. You know what I'm saying? And Ahab to all of y'all. For real, for real. I enjoy, man, seeing my niggas go from the back of the class to the front of the class, for real. Hey, let's get that right quick. Isaiah 11. 1-5, and there shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Jesse. Oh yeah, we're talking about a righteous branch, right? We're talking about a baby. We're talking about an offspring. And a twig shall grow forth out of his roots, and that ruach of HaWah shall rest upon him, and that ruach of Amah, of wisdom and understanding. So David got feminine energy with the mama. He got masculine energy with the Abba, right? He got the spirit of counsel and might. He got the spirit of knowledge and the respect of HaWah. He got the respect of HaWah. And his delight shall be in the respect of HaWah. So HaWah doesn't want you to be afraid of him. HaWah wants you to respect and be loyal, even if it means he got to check your ass to get you there, like any father would, like any mother would. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither decide after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the land, and he shall smite the land with the rod of his mouth, and the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked, and the righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and the faithfulness the girdle of his reins. We're talking about the shoot of Jesse, which is David. More witnesses. So we're gonna get the David Reubeni drop, and then kind of surf the wave back in this David Al-Kun, with a K or Q means to rise, and make a quick comparison again between this Daniel here and this Daniel here, Kiliab, also known as Dan. And perhaps this has given us an insight into the timeline we're dealing with when it comes to the Genghis Khan invasion or the Nebuchadnezzar invasion, because Nebuchadnezzar just means Nebo, defend my boundaries. Nebo, defend my boundaries. Nebuchadnezzar, did Nebuchadnezzar or Shalmaneser or Genghis Khan, did he hijack or, remember he was taking all the brightest out of the tribe of Judah, the most, you know, high-powered Nagas he could find. One of them was Daniel, right? As well as, Michelle, Bendigo, and all that, right? So Daniel could just be referring to this Daniel El Kun, and he's very important, especially if you consider him a son of David. You see why he's so important. Because not only is he a son of David, we're investigating. I mean, don't get in the way of our investigation now. We're just learning to ask the right questions. If that Daniel is the son of David, he is the second son of David, king of Israel. Not only is the son of David, but he is a sinless man. He is without any transgression, never transgressed the code. Later rabbinic traditions name him as one of four ancient Israels who died without sin. If I ask you who died without sin, they're going to say Jesus. You see how JC hijacks all this great energy in Israel. You got four ancient Israelites who died without sin. Oh, nope, you got Jesus. You got an anointed. You got a firstborn. Nope, you got Jesus. Who's on the right hand of the Creator? Nope, Jesus on the right hand, not Mama. Even Psalms 110, you know what I'm saying? Hey, come here, my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. Even David's being told to come. Hey, kick it with Mama, man. Come to the right hand. Mama got you. I'm going to make your enemies your footstool. And now we're finding out that there's not one but four ancient Israelites who died without sin. Four ancient Israelites who died without sin. The others being Benjamin, right? Benjamin, Jesse. We just read about the Jesse, the shoot of Jesse, right? Jesse's a sinless man. So that Isaiah 11, man, they have to Achmat. And there shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Jesse, my naga. What's the stock of Jesse? The stock of Jesse is without sin. And I mean, it's funny because if you reverse this Jesse, you know, instead of Jesse, you switch the last two letters around, the ES. Jesus. Oh, man. Because he died without sin. Jesus is hijacking everybody, man. Now he's Jesse too. He's a sinless man. Amram, the father of Moses, which leads us to keep asking the question, is David another...
Wow.
Is he another reflection or of Moses? Is David and Moses the same? Since Moses was king of Cush for 40 years, according to the book of Yashar, he is a king, like David is a king. David is a priest, like Moses. Although Aaron is the priest, Moses is still a Khan, is still a priest, you know what I'm saying? HaWah, I mean, and both of their fathers are sinless men. I mean, come on. David's pops and Moses' pops are both Israelites who died without sin. The throne eventually passed to his younger half-brother, Solomon. Daniel's younger brother is Solomon. Who is Daniel? He would be a son of David. Coon. Yeah, we're gonna coon through this, man. Back to the Maimonides, Moses Maimonides flow, right? We're talking about who wrote the Sefer HaMeswot, right? Who wrote the Sefer HaMeswot? The book of precepts, the book of the code, commandments. Yeah, Daniel wrote his code, his Sefer HaMeswot. Daniel wrote it. Moses Maimonides comes and writes his own code. Another comparison. We're talking sons of David. We're talking another Moses Maimonides, son of Rambam. And Rambam sure looks a lot like Amram. I mean, am I making this up? Rambam seems a lot like Amram. Moses Maimonides is the son of Rambam. Moses is the son of Amram. Come on, man. I can't make this stuff up. We're talking about Israelites who died without sin. All right. We're going to come back to this. So, hey, the Mac Gomez got a knocker popping off. Let's go, man. For the dismount in this Prester hour, Prester investigation. David Dewey Dodie. Like dodecahedron, like dodecahedron. You can't talk dodecahedron. You can't talk that either. That Merkaba flow is the Star of David. You just don't see it in the fourth dimension, right? Fifth dimension, God. What does a cube look like in the fourth dimension? We're talking tesseracts, man. So yeah, you got to expand your mind, bone. This Dawi is the king of Reubeni, Gadi, Mani. So he's the king of Reuben, Gad, Manasseh, and everything else. Is that why he'll be called David Reubeni? Let's pick it up from here. David Reubeni. Let's talk about this connection, and we're gonna read. It's about 50 pages in this. I'm gonna start it off, and we're gonna continue this in Prester 106. Man, we are on our way. We are on track. We've taken a necessary breath, popped off in the quantum, popped off, man. And flat drop 101. We've been popping off. So they for surfing this wave, my nuggets. Let's go. So they're gonna take us to the 16th century, which brings me to an important point. All right, they say 16th century, David Reubeni, got him. We're just comparing these characters and if we're getting any hard hits, man. So fall back. We don't know anything, right? We're just asking questions. We're asking the right questions because it's leading us somewhere. You might think you got a conclusion. Fall back, hijack. Get to the back of the class. We got that wall. Okay. How we looking on time, my nice? You good? Ain't no time, right? Only the way. Perfect. Oh, yeah. We just getting started, man. That was just the intro. Let's go. Let's go. So, when they bring us to the 16th century, they're bringing us to the 1500s, right? And David Reubeni here, according to Genie.com, it's circa 1200. So that's about a 300-year gap. Say it with me. Flamenco. Flamenco's new chronology argues that the dawn of human civilization occurred about 1,200 years before present in what we consider the 9th, 10th century. It is largely based upon dates allegedly obtained through textual analysis and astronomical calculation, along with arguing for a shortened chronology. They argue that an intentional falsification of history took place in the 16 to 1800s. So Fomenko, this Russian chronographer who's been putting in that work, has his version of the timeline, and we can look at it. We've used as a comparative tool in our classroom, in our investigation. His work is saying something that's going to blow your mind bone, that most of what you consider antiquity and history is coming out of the so-called dark ages, right? 1600s, 1700s, 1500s, you know what I'm saying? And push back in time 300 years, 1,000 years, 1,800 years. But the real history took place, let's say, in the 1600s, and then was pushed back to the 1200s, so it seems further away. Why? So you don't connect to it as much. It's harder to connect to something 1,000 years ago. But something that took place in the 1800s, like the Combs say, huh? That's easier to connect with. And knowing that the Combs is connected with these Hebrew tribes right here in America, it's like a Moshe flow popping off with him and his brother, the prophet, ThaWaDa. Hey, look, man. Will the real story stand up? Because the Kumse tried to gather the tribes, unite the tribes to fight against the hijack. That was our last stand, my nigga. Couple hundred years ago. Just a couple hundred years ago. This hijack is way more recent than we think. Anatoly's proven this. They argue that most historical records are authentic, but that the interpretation of them has been largely and intentionally distorted. They don't claim to have found any final conclusions, but they do believe the methods of history, archaeology, philology, physics, chemistry, mathematics can help solve the problems they found. Wow. Flamenco's new chronology was one of the main reasons that I created See Truth. From the outset, I wanted to know which parts of Flamenco's new chronology are valid and which parts aren't, or not. While I've come a long way in determining the extent of its validity, I'm still working on a comprehensive analysis of it, and I encourage people who are interested in sciences and humanities to join in as well. Flamenco's new chronology is almost 50 years in the making. My serious studies into it really began when I made this website on January 2nd, 2019. And we've been surfing away with Flamenco well before that. The Drop Nation, let's go. Since then, my studies into Flamenco's new chronology have become increasingly more critical and rigorous than when I first began. I do not believe in Flamenco's new chronology. My thoughts on what's legit and not legit are spelled out in my examination article. So, hey, it's up to your interpretation, right? He has his reasons that he doesn't believe in what he believes in, but he just said he's still working it out. So I don't think he can come to no conclusion if he's still trying to work it out. And Flamenco's been putting in that work for 50 years building this new chronology. So he come trying to figure out what's valid. Hey man, you gotta get in the mind bone of Flamenco. But it's all good, believe it or not believe it. What I don't believe in is Scaliger and Petavi's chronology. So at least it gets us thinking about these time shifts, man. What time shifts? Let's get it right here. The popular notion is that the human civilization dawned maybe 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. Flamenco's new chronology condenses this down to 1,200 years ago by arguing the events And again, we don't want to bear false witness on flamenco. Is he, saying that with, as some factual thing of, 1,200 years ago is as far back as we go? Or is this what they're interpreting it as? Because I've never really read flamenco say uh, all history only goes back 1,200 years. He says that, what we consider antiquity ain't quite ancient enough. They've been using more recent history and purposely pushing it back in our history books. They'll take the same king from 2023, push it back 3 years to 1700s. That's a big difference. Psychologically, you're like, oh, 1700s. But if I said it was 2023, you say, whoa, what's up? What? You have a different interest. And then when they push it back 1,000 years, you really ain't interested. 1,800 years, now we talking BCs, you really ain't interested. But it's the same king or queen from 2023 that they just pushed back 1,800 years to the year 200 AD, my nigga. This is for real, what Scaliger and Batavius was doing. Events of civilization were artificially placed further back in time by shifts of roughly 333 years, 1,053 years, and 1,778 years. Call it 1,800. I ain't making this up. This is Flamenco's 50 years of recon. This jabroni could say he agrees or disagrees. That don't mean nothing to the recon. We know that these chronological time shifts happen. We know that they added at least 1,000 years to the indigenous Naga. At least they added 1,000 years. And what happens when they add 1,000 years? That means they push back 1,000 years of real story, real history, right? So if they push back what's happening with Drop Nation 1,000 years to 1,023 AD, they've now created a 1,000-year blank slate because they pushed back real history 1,000 years. Now they got a recent history to fill in of 1,000-year blank slate, and this is what they've done with all this stuff: Roman history, Greek, all this stuff, man, Egypt, everything. The Egyptian chronology all messed up. They over there stacking up in the suits as if they're not reigning simultaneously in different areas. They just acting like, oh, Pharaoh, okay, and then there's another Pharaoh, and then there's another Pharaoh. They're reigning simultaneously in different areas in many cases. So that antiquity definitely ain't true. You gotta condense a lot of that stuff. And now you add it to what they purposely done in our history books. They could take King David now, really from 1,500, and now make him a BC Naga, or 1,800. Templar, take the wheel. So someone asked me to go further into that, and we've gone way deeper into flamenco and true chronology. We got a whole series on true chronology, and all that. We 7, 8, 10-part series. I don't know. We we've dug deep into this chronology. So again, that's roughly 333 or 330, 1050, 1,800 years, right? Okay. So let's pay attention to this 300-year shift, right? You got a David the First, Reubeni, King of Reubeni, circa 1,200. And possibly, right? You got a David Reubeni, possibly the same person that they're picking up in the 16th century or 1,500. 1,200, 1,500. It could be, according to the flamenco Anatolia time shifts that we're witnessing it in real time, roughly a 333-year time shift. Huh? Could be. Let's go. So now we're in the 1500s, which the story could be taking place before they pushed it down to the 1200s. David Reubeni was a central figure, and they say Jewish messianism. Wow. Let's translate. Let's translate for the hijack. Jewish messianism. We're talking about a Mashiach, a Hebrew Mashiach. Okay. So David Reubeni was a Hebrew Mashiach. Husband of Hannah. if, if this David's the husband of Hannah, and Raja Chola, Jadaron, Prester John is also the husband of Hannah, then we're talking about the same Davids. Father of Solomon, father of Hanan, father of Exarch David VI, husband of Lady Hannah, husband of Lady Hannah. Is it play? Okay. Birdman and Rub activate. Let's go for the dismount Batnaga. So this David the First, Dewey, Dodie, Rodon is like Rhode Island. It's like Reed or Red. Shout out to the Templar, right? It's yeah, it's like Red Ruddy, King of Rubadi Gadimani. It's the same as Jadaron. This is Prester John. Estimated before 1195, right? Circa 1200, right? Circa 1200, right? Around 1200, right? Con. Or we talking 1500, right? Okay. He is a figure of Hebrew Hamashiach, messenger, David, or Prester John. A symbol of a Hebrew Hamashiach. Like a firstborn, like an anointed covenant. Father of Hanan, Hanan, right? Hanan. Father of Hanan. Okay. So David the First is Raja Chola II. Jadaron, Prester John, is David the First, King of Rubadi, Gotti, and Mani. There's no separation. Both have queens called Hannah, sons called Hanan, and then there's even more information, as Princess Limbu, and all that, what I'm saying? Now we could really put this family tree together, right? You want to do your genealogies, man? Go to genie.com because this is your genealogies. David the first is Prester John. Prester John is David, and his son is also a David called the Exarch David. Exarch means that these are the leaders during this Babylonian captivity. You know what I'm saying? This is why he is the Exarch David. He's David the sixth, so of Babylon, because you're in Babylonian captivity, Persian captivity, all that, right? So, okay. And at the same time as this Persian captivity is going on, you got Nebuchadnezzar kidnapping the most prized, smartest children of Judah and Israel and all that. And does he get Daniel? Yeah, he gets Daniel. Daniel, who is Kiliab, son of David. And Kiliab means what? What is the meaning of Kiliab? As I get back on this Daniel flow. According to Rashi, Rabbi Isaac said that some question whether Abigail was pregnant with or through David or her first husband Nabal. Remember, he ended up. What happened to Nabal? Let me go get the story. I think he. Yes, I gotta know now. What happened to Abigail's first husband Nabal? I mean, I know she was widowed, right? So what happened? come on, AI. What happened to Abigail's first husband Nabal? Let's go. She was widowed, right? So Nabal's death and Abigail's marriage to David. When Abigail returned home, she finds her husband drunk from feasting like a king, like a king, right? And waits until morning to tell him what she has done. His heart then strangely turns to stone, and he dies 10 days later, struck by HaWah. Whoa. Okay, we got to get on this Abigail flow, man. Shout out to the Lady Dragons on the wall. So she is the mother of Daniel. And Daniel was put into captivity through Nebuchadnezzar or Genghis Khan. And is this how Genghis Khan had to drop on Prester John? Because he had his son, and his son was very important, Prester John, who is David. We just established that. So there was no confusion. HaWah arranged that Kiliab would resemble David. So Daniel, who is Kiliab, resembles his father so much. Is it possible his name Kiliab, which is translated perfection of the father? He resembles his father so much. His name means perfection of the father, which could also be referring to HaWah. It is a reference to or cause of that legend. Wow. So Daniel's important. Daniel Kum is important. He is a perfection of the Father. He is a perfection of David. And this is why he was so important to Nebuchadnezzar. And this is why Daniel was popping off and he got the keys to the kingdom, right? Just like Joseph rose up, right? So HaWah had him on Kum. He rose up, right? He was on Kumisi, right? Daniel was on Kumisi. I think they put this Daniel, they try to put him around, 900 or something like that. But remember the three major chronological time shifts. Let's go. Sixth century, 16th century, 1500s, right? David Reubeni, central figure of Hebrew HaMashiach. This paper not only identifies this Messiah, Prester job, right? Messiah, Mashiach, messenger. Search for HaWah and David, God. Forerunner's identity and his lineage. It also proposes that the appearance of David Reubeni in the Vatican and at royal, as well as imperial courts, may provide for a better understanding of Messianism's inner mechanism and possibly establish a direct parallel to early
Wow.
Islam. Wow. Reminds me of the Joktan flow, how Arabic was first used by the sons of Joktan, and how there is a proper Arab that is an Israelite. The proper Arab proper is Israel.
Wow.
Arab improper is these other tribes, like Ishmael is an Arab improper. Go get that drop. Go click the link in the Prester series, man. So it appears to be a stretch beyond reason to willfully construct a connection between seemingly unrelated events that occurred almost 1,000 years apart, or did they? However, while history does not repeat itself, prophecy is perpetuated, and that creates historical patterns with all its pitfalls against tradition, but also corroborated by it. It also, it allows for a thesis that the origins of Islam's spiritual leadership may have lain in Ethiopia in substantive, if not decisive ways. And if we're talking about the origins of Islam in Ethiopia, Managa, then you gotta ask yourself, man, who's the king of the Ethiopians and where is Ethiopia? And yeah, we know Islam, like Christianity, is getting their spiritual foundation from the tenets of the code of HaWah. That's going to go right back to David or the Prester. And this is all they're connecting with this Jewish messianism or Hebrew HaMashiach, is that Ishmael and Isaac had to be separated. But they go back to the same root. They got to go back to Abraham, who has a visit from Melchizedek or Prester John, which is an energy that is forever. One shepherd. Let's keep going. It's getting good already. I'm in the second paragraph. Wow. You see why we got to pick it up from here next time. So, all right. Let's see what they got to say. This is again an article by A.J. Deuce, Deus. All right, let's go. David Reubeni and early Islam in Ethiopia. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Arab proper, man. In fact, it may open the road to establishing Islam as a triumph of Jewish messianism and Prophet Muhammad as a failed Messiah himself, or perhaps a forerunner. It is expected that such a thesis will be passionately rejected or even termed as anti-Semitic. However, such a dismissal rests on a willful academic misunderstanding. What the prophesied ultimate goal of Messianism is a new Judaic religion under Jewish leadership. In simplistic terms, the end of prophecy finds its renewal in a new Judaic religion. Given that Reubeni's era marked the height of the murderous pan-European Inquisition by the Catholic Church. Oh, because again, this is 1500s, man. This is after they have done their papal bull 1452, saying subjugate all you pagans and heathens, enemies of Christ, vanquish them, take their lands, movable and immovable goods, perpetual slavery, right? Right, papal bull 1452. Come. This is 1500s, right? 16th century. So given the David Reubeni era marks the height of the murderous pan-European Inquisition by the Catholic Church, the start of the Protestant Reformation, and also messianic aspiration to the world dominance by the Ottoman rulers, the Holy Roman Empire, and others, right? Black ass King Charles, and at the same time, we in the 1500s or not? Is we in the 1500s or not? Black ass King Charles, more and more war. We can't talk about Islam without talking about the more and more war. Moab and them, right? Moab and them. The dominance by the Ottoman rulers, the Holy Roman Empire, and others. This was a time with no shortage in all sorts of prophet and Messiah aspirants. Tradition accounts Reubeni's story as following. Dressed as a Muslim, claiming to be a descendant of Prophet Muhammad, the Jewish David Reubeni stepped into Messianic tradition as a forerunner of the Messiah. He traveled to Jerusalem, where he was joined by 70 elders with the aim to rededicate the temple. His mission was to forge a grand alliance between the Catholic Church and the Jewish kingdom of Khaibar, Khaibar, north of Media, where his brother is said to have ruled at that time. The Ottoman Empire was in the process of marching up the Balkan in order to break down the Holy Roman Empire after it had incorporated Jerusalem, Medina, and Mecca into its realm a few short years earlier. Reubeni was joined by the aspiring Messiah Solomon Malcho, Molcho. After gaining some support from Pope Clement VII, the pair set out to enlist the latter's enemy. To enlist the enemy, Solomon's enemy. The latter's enemy, Emperor Charles V, against the Ottoman Empire. This mission ended in Malcho being burned at the stake and Reubeni being imprisoned by the Inquisition. So they bringing us, I'm just reading it. I don't know, and I don't know where they are getting any facts of him saying he's a descendant of Muhammad and this and this and this, but let's get some eggs out the bathwater. All right, so this Solomon was supposed to be one of the forerunners of this Messiah flow as well. All right, so after gaining support from Pope Clement VII, the pair set out to enlist the latter's enemy, Charles V, against the Ottoman Empire. And then this Solomon Malcho was burned at the stake and Reubeni was imprisoned by the Inquisition, which tells you what? That Charles wasn't interested in going against the Ottoman Empire, man. Oh no. It's a confederacy. Psalms 83. Yeah. Black ass King Charles V. 1500s. Black ass King Charles is ruling in the 1500s, right? Oh, haughty-eyed Charles. Here you go. So they try to get haughty-eyed Charles to go against these Moors, the Ottoman Turks, right? He says, "What? I'm the big homie. We working together, boss." Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Let's get it, man. For the dismount. Let's go. So now David Reubeni is imprisoned by the Inquisition. Despite a rich trove of literary evidence, the traditions leave a lot to be desired in terms of transparency. Who were they, David Reubeni and Solomon Malko?
Wow.
And they burned Solomon at the stake, man. I mean, that would be called a crucifixion, right? That would be called a martyrdom, right? How could two Jews have gone on a rogue mission, messianic mission, while at the same time getting access to the highest ecclesiastical, royal, and imperial courts, and to the top leadership of global rabbinic Jewry? Were it not for rich independent testimonies, one might think that the pair was based on mere fabrication. Was the story perhaps manipulated to the extent that successive students could not get a grasp of their appearance? This paper establishes the identity of both David Reubeni and Solomon Malko. In the historic sidelines, it becomes rather evident that they were playing all sides in grand treachery that aimed at the conquest of the Promised Land by the Messianic pair. Its rabbinic henchmen, including and right up to the Sanhedrin, through the fulfillment of prophecy, others were manipulated to go to war for them. The greater context is embedded in the book Holy Enemies of Freedom, how Martin Luther unleashed the beast of anti-Semitism. This book sought to investigate the contextual causes that could have led to Luther's change from addressing Jews as welcome prospective converts to finally wishing them summarily killed. It established that the appearance of Reubeni and Malko and their influence with the converso communities had a direct impact on Martin Luther's anti-Semitic settlements. Okay, because Yeezy said it. Reubeni himself provides for a direct lead to the Nasara, Nasara, in the Quran, and the foundation of Islam. Okay. Yeah, we know that Islam is a recent foundation. It is not the same as the Muhammadan pagan worship. All that cube stuff comes from the Muhammadan paganism and syncretized into a new religion, the newest religion. But let's go. The leaders of the Nasara, it turns out, were not Christians, but rather Jews who believed in Jesus as the Messiah. In the Western Arab Peninsula lies the second most important religious center of Islam, Medina. The oldest mosque is situated there. According to tradition, Prophet Muhammad migrated to Medina after having run into troubles with the authorities in Mecca, which is believed to be the birthplace of Islam. It is also the primary place to which Muslims travel for their pilgrimage to Khaibar. Right? We also got them doing a pilgrimage in America, in Mecca, around Indiana, walking around a giant cube. Because Ishmael was migrating, 1600s and so, 1700s and so. Their holiest place of worship. About 100 miles north of Medina lies the oasis of Khaibar, a center in Judaism since antiquity. Amidst a stone desert, the old site of Khaibar is a light forest of date palms that is dotted with ruins of fortresses and run-down huts. According to modern experts, David Reubeni claimed descent from the biblical tribe of Reuben, made obvious by his choice of name, as well as brotherhood with Davidic king Shlomo, which is what reminds me of that Shiloh kind of flow, Shlomo of Khaibar. So they said made obvious by his choice of name, but maybe it's not so obvious. Maybe they got to dig a little deeper. Did he claim to be from Reuben, or is he saying, I am king of Judah, who by default will be king of Reuben, Gadi, Mani and all the tribes, because the scepter don't depart from Judah, and the tents of Judah are raised up first, right? So is it so obvious by his choice of name? Let's go. Because David's own story calls the town Habur, Habur, rather than Khaibar. Whoa. A quick detour is necessary in order to establish its later identification. David's own story says Habur rather than Khaibar. I'm just gonna put this to the side. This is interesting, man. So, oh man, let's correlate this for me, man. King David. How they spell it? Habor. Or Habar. How am I spelling it? So they got Habur. Habur. Okay. Biblical. River in Mesopotamia is situated between Balik, Balikh, and Habor River. I'm just, looking at it, seeing what pops up. Habor Triangle, Habor River. Upper Habor. All right, all right. Okay. This is how we got to Prester 105. Now we start digging on this Habor, right? Habor rivers, all this Habor towns in America. Hold up, man. Just for fun. Hold up. Like drop. You having too much fun. Yeah, you know what? I think I earned it, man. I think we earned it, man. Town, city, America. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess now they would just change it to harbor, huh? How bored would be changed to harbor, you think? Harbor city, harbor town? Oh man. Habor, Habor?
Wow.
What? Uh-huh. Important eastern affluent of the Euphrates, it still bears the name Habor. Eastern affluent of the Euphrates.
Wow.
According to Noble Jew Ali, since we're talking more and more and Islam and all that, we might as well get the perspective of this map that is referred to on this Noble Jew Ali drop. They say to look at this map for the orientation, right? To see what the Prophet Noble Jew Ali talking about. Right? North America, and this would be like that Great Salt Lake, Utah flow, right? Ancient ocean, right? Uh-huh. All the rivers combining, coming together. You got the river Euphrates, And then, that'll be basically like a Mississippi River, right? Today, as the lands separate. And you got Zion, where Cusco, like Peru, Sacsayhuama type flow. Okay. We take these maps very seriously. They take these maps very seriously. What they say about this map again? This map should be used when studying the teachings of our prophet, as found in Quran, right? So, as we talk Islam, we got to talk Quran, and we got to talk the map that should be used when studying the teachings of their prophet. And this map has the Euphrates River where the Mississippi River would be. Okay. They take their maps very seriously. They said something is east of the Euphrates type thing, right? They talking about Habur. This river, huh? Still bears the name of Habur. All right, all right. It rises in Mount Macias, 50 miles north of Rasana. Head of the spring flows southwest, imparting great fertility to its banks like the Mississippi, in the winding way through the midst of the desert, and falls into the Euphrates at Carcassia, after a course to the great extent navigable of about 200 miles. Carried away the exiles of the Transjordanic tribes of Israel. Very important, Habur, right? Let's go. So, because David's own story called the town Habur rather than Khaibar, again showing you that they put this K in front of the H sometimes, like Hanan would be called Kana, Khaibar, Habur. A quick detour is necessary in order to establish its identification. Muslim tradition does not put much importance on Khaibar, Habur, or Heber, or Quivira. Whoa, for the dismount, for the dismount. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Hey, all praise to what we got that wall for the dismount. Call me Hano. Halal HaWah. Halal HaWah. Let's go. Oh man, this is too much. This is too much fun. I love getting the babies out of these type of links. They might seem like they're talking crazy, and then you start kind of showing and decoding these things right in their face, boom, how this Arab proper flow works. When they say Islam and all this, they're really talking Arab proper, man. And when you talk Arab proper, you gotta talk Joktan, man. Yucatan, man. And Habur is Heber, like Quivira. Like Quivira, my nigga. Back it up. About 100 miles north of Medina lies the oasis of Quivira or Heber. Let's go. A center of Judaism, sensitivity, or we're talking Heber. Hebrew, ancient Heber, Quivira, that's all on our maps, right? Even the David Rumsey map got Quivira. Yeah, man, you been surfing the wave, man? Hey, this for the wave surfers only, man. For the dismount. Yeah, we know Prester John is on the David Ramsey, man. They put him right outside the pole, right? Right outside the Earth Pond 1. Yeah, they got Prester right outside the wall. Prete, 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 Prester, Johnny. Grand Ethiopian, yet he said that Islam's popping out of Ethiopia, right? Who's the Rex Negus? Who's the Emperor of Abyssinia? I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you. Abyssinia predates Egypt, the Greek word. Talking about a mixed multitude like Moshe. He's outside the wall with no cap on Antarctica's chest bone anywhere, boss. But we talking Khaibar, Khaibar, Habur, Hebrew, Heber, Heber. Say it with me. Ania. Or we're just talking Anan ben David, who also wrote the code Sefer HaMizrah as well. Moses Maimonides writes the code. Daniel Elkoon writes the code. And Anan Anian ben David writes the code. Khan. Sefer HaMizrah as well. Of course, Moshe. He got the tablets, right? He writes the code, so everybody's writing the code. And what's Quivira about? All right, this is North America, boss. West Coast, right? Bering Strait or Strait of Ania, Azareth, right? Quivira. What's Quivira?
Wow.
Clearly, it's a kingdom. But why would they spell it with a Q? We just showed you that the Q's and K's, like Kum and Kum, K-U-M, Q-U-M, interchangeable. Put the K there. Let's see what happens. You got Khivera. They would spell it K-H-E-E-V-E-R-A. K-H. We just showed you how they put the K next to the H, and sometimes they take it off like Hanan and Kanan, right? So put the K-H-E-E-V-E-R-A, Kavera, or the V's are also B's in Hebrew. They've changed the B's and V's and switched those around as well. Kiver, Eber. This is what they do. We're just talking about Habur. Yeah. Oh, Salmanazar, huh? We're just talking Habur, right? Or Harbor, right? Habur. Let's do this. Do it with me. Put in Quivira. Regnum. Quivira. Heber. Heber. For the dismount. Quivira is a place named by the Spanish conquistadors for the mythical cities of gold that he never found, boss. Yeah, it's a very ancient city, they say. Coronado's looking forward in his 7 cities ago Cibola expedition. Cibola is also Shimbala. Shimbala, like the daughter, Sheba, 7 cities of gold. Let's go back. Flourished between 1450, 1700s, right there in the ballpark of the 1500s, 16th century situation, right? It's all happening. Okay. Yep, it's all happening in America, boss. Or India Superior. Quivira, Heber, Heber, Habur, all the same thing. Quivira. I'm just playing around with these spellings, man. They be playing with us. I'm playing back, man. Heber, Heber, or Habur. Come on, what you got? Okay. Okay, boss. Yeah, there's books written on this Arizona Quivira, Grand Quivira. We did a whole drop on this Afghan flow, Afghana, that son of Saul or grandson of Saul, son of Yermaul, in that $1,000 medieval histories of, medieval histories of Israel, ancient, what I'm talking about. The Heber is the keeper, right? Is the Quivira, which is the Quivira, my nigga, for the dismount. And it's all happening in Arizona. Baba Quivira, New Mexico. I can't make this up. The C's or the K's and Q's are interchangeable. And look at the spelling, right? You take the K off, you got the Heber or the Habur that we're talking about, which is the Heber or Khaibar, which is like the Khaibar crystals and the lightsabers and the Jedi, right? Yeah. Like the like cyberspace, right? They'll put a C on it now. They'll call it cyber. Hyboria, Hyperborea, Hyper is Heber. Heber is also connected to the ancestor Eber Manage. Shout out to Gene D. Matlock. He even puts the C on it. Quivira with a Q or with a C. Heber is Eber. Huh? Quivira is Heber Manage. Quivira is Heber Manage for the dismount. Quivira's Heber is Habur. Oh man, so yeah, they started going in. We started going into the 12 tribes, Esau, Flo, Caesar, East. Oh my gosh. It gets good. Jacob's firstborn. and one of the 10 lost tribes in Habur, man. And Habur is Heber or Eber. Is Habur. Is Quivira. And Quivira is right in your Facebook, my nigga, on this David Rumsey map. Say it with me. Body bag for the illusion. Right in your face. And look at this river running through it. Whoa. Like the Habur River. Look how all of it, this river connects. Huh? Because Quivira is also this river connection like the Habur. Quivira Provincia, kingdom, next to Antioch, right? Yep. In 1540, Spaniard Francisco Vasquez de Coronado led a large expedition north from Mexico to search for wealth in the 7 cities of Cibola. Instead of wealth, he found indigenous farmers living in an array of communities, so he couldn't find the drop. So he claimed the drop didn't exist. Where did he
Wow.
go? Quivira. Wow. What is Quivira? Heber. Sometimes I put a K in front of it, make it Khaibar. And then they'll turn that into a Q and make it Quivira with a V. But Quivira is Heber. Heberu. Heberu.
Wow.
Heberu. I see you. Quivira is Heber. 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 Heberu. Do you see clearly? It's too much fun surfing the wave with you, my dog. Yeah, it's too much fun surfing the wave with you. That's a good little book to get. This is a great link I'll leave. Oh, there's a few of them. There's a few of them. Oh, man. Let's get it from. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, we touched on this one before. Let's get it bigger. Yeah, we touched on this one. Man, I love surfing the wave. Let's get it from here. About 5,000 BC or earlier. Brilliant, deified Phoenician Naga. All right. Shout out to my Nagas for the dismount. 500 BC or earlier, a brilliant deified Phoenician Naga king and philosopher named Quivira or Cuba or Cubera is this Cuba man. Learn how to smelt gold, copper, and metal. So his name is Quivira. His name is Ibera, Cubera, Ibera. These activities took place in the kingdom named after him. Khaibar is Khaibar. What's this got to do with the Khaibar crystals and the lightsabers, man? The Khaibar crystals, the Khaibar crystals. Khaibar is Quivira, which consisted of a group of craggy mountains in what is now the southeast Afghanistan. Now, we just talking about America, boss. Stop it. Khyber Pass. We just talked about the Khyber Pass, and it led us to Arizona. my Naga. Let's go. New Mexico. Let's go. According to Hindu mythology, Quivira and god Shiva lived in the total barren. All right, remember Shiva is what they want to incarnate from Sheba or Shambhala, or the daughter of the seven cities of Go. So you got a deified Naga king and a Sheba living in the total barren, mineral poor, they say goldless, frigid, lofty. Okay. Oh, they're talking about Western Tibet. Where's India superior though? The Khaibar, its region, is wealthy. The Quivira in North America, or India superior, is wealthy. Abounds with rubies. Gold, they're looking for the cities of gold. Gold is found in the mines in America, in its vicinity, and the Quivira Kingdom, or they say Quivira Province right here. And while they keep trying to push this to Afghan, the Quivira Province is right here, man. Not over here, boss, but over here, boss. Body bag. Yeah, for the dismount. Body bag for the illusion. The Khaibar, the Quivira, got the gold. The Quivira, got the gold. The Quivira, the Ibera in North America. In India, Superior got the gold, and who's this deified Phoenician Naga? Would it be the same deified Naga, you know, found in the British Museum? Would it be the same deified Phoenician Naga found on our ether packs? Our ether pack tubes? Shout out to my Nagas. Let's go to the maps, man. Could this be the same Naga that's being deified? Like Sheba was deified into these other powers. They took the essence of real kings and queens and turned them into hijack energies like Shiva. We're just talking about our queen, our mama, Sheba. Did it do the same thing with Dawi? Because the same place we're finding Quivira on the David Rumsey map, we find Prester John in the British Museum circa 1530, boss. Next to or in India Superior and Cathay. Same place Prester John is located. It's the same place as Quivira is located in North America, boss. Or we just talking Asia? Yeah, I think, boss, we just talking Asia, boss. Hey, quick question. Does North America even exist? I mean, for real, for real. It's a good question. The continent of North America does not exist. Or could it just be part of Asia? No. It's just Asia, boss. Cathay. Asia. Kaka. Asia. India Superior, right? Prester John. Quivira. I said Quivira. Okay. And Quivira is, drum roll please, best dismount of all time. Prester John 105. Shabbat Shalom to the cons. We did it again. Khaibar is wealthy, abounded in rubies. Gold is found in the mines in its vicinity, and in the Quivira kingdom was likewise the ruling power in those early days. The ruling power, my naga, who is Prester John.
Wow.
Halal HaWah. Huh? It takes a special ruach to serve this way. ThaWaDa.
Wow.
We derived our word copper from Quivira's name. Quivira is copper, my noggin. Is Khaibar like Khaibar crystals. Khaibar is copper. Quivira is copper. You got that mem sauce? Yourself, take the wheel. Shalom, man, for that mint sauce. Got a knocker popping off. Been taking that mint sauce with my family, man, for, at least couple weeks, steady, and we are popping off. ThaWaDa Yosef, go holla at the Guala. Yosef the real. For that mem sauce, that pure copper, that Quivira, that Heber. Let's go. Eventually, the Nagas extended their influence all over India. Which India? India superior. If you've intuited that Afghan Heber, Heber. I'm out of here, boss. I'm out of here. Heber. Pronounced Khaibar with a K or a Q. Egyptian Kipri. Uh-oh, Egypt. Egypt Capri, you're also right here too. Egypt. Egypt's here too. You saying Egypt is where Quivira? Whoa. Wouldn't that be Arizona like Grand Canyon? Then we just get from the Grand Pass, Quivira, New Mexico, Arizona flow. Arizona Grand Canyon flow. Quivira is the Egyptian Kipri. Whoa. Best dismount of all time. Allow. Wow. We right there, boss. Arizona, huh? New Mexico, Four Corners, Utah, right? Egypt. It's all happening in Asia. Or India Superior. Cathay. Tangu. China. Who is Prester John? Because it must be the place of the ruling power, right? India Superior. India Superior. We're talking India, right? Ruling power. God. Quivira Kingdom, likewise the ruling power in those early days. Copper, right? Copper colored confound here. Influence all over. India Superior. Afghan Khyber, and Afghan is who? He's a grandson or son of Saul from Benjamin. So Afghan is coming out the tribe of Benjamin straight up. Remember, Benjamin is a sinless man. Hebrew is Heber. Heberu. Quivira is Heber. Heber is Hebrew. And it's proven Egypt is here. The Greek Quivira, the Khaibar, Cabroic, Capri. The biblical Capernaum. Ain't no cap. It's Capernaum. All that is Quivira, my naga. The biblical Capernaum. Capper. It's all happening right here in Quivira. Right here in so-called North America, where they just found the copper-colored cons, the Amaru cons. Quivira is everything, which is why Coronado's looking for it. Con, Con, he came way over here looking for it for a reason, Con. Looking for that gold, looking for the gold, because it's abounding in gold. This Phoenician Naga got the drop. Who's the Phoenician Naga that they are saying became deified in the Hindu religion? Research the Hindu, David. Just research the Hindu, David. The biblical Capernaum, so the story of the Bible's popping off right here in North America, India Superior. The Arabic Gabar, this Middle East flow is happening with the Arab proper, who's just right here in India Superior. Egyptian Capri is happening right here in India Superior. We're just talking about the Hebrew Heber, which they're calling Quivira with a Q. Right? Quivira. Francisco de Coronado's search for the what? Fabled, mythical cities of gold. Search for fabled Quivira. Somehow linked. Are they somehow linked? You've intuited correctly, boss. And it goes into some real high power drop. For high power Nagas connecting the drop. You got the links. Is it mystical? Or is this Indus all about India Superior? Heber, the Hebrew, Heber, Heber, Heber. And it's what this Grand Pass is all about. This book by this book by Jane D. Matlock, right? From Khaibar, to Grand Quivira. New Mexico, Baba Quivira, Arizona. We're talking Quivira, we're talking Heber, we're talking Heber. We're talking Quivira, we're talking Heber, we're talking the Hebrew. Heber, which is the Habur or Habur.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, David Reubeni, right? How did we get here again? Oh man, this thing's 50 pages. We still on with the first page. It's all good.
Wow.
We got the foundation we building, man. Ain't no time, only the way. Remember this black ass King Charles is right in the middle of all this, man. Wow. So, according to modern experts, David Reubeni claimed descendant from the biblical tribe of Reuben, made odds by his choice of name, or was he king of Reubeni, God Almighty, as well as a brotherhood with David, the David King Shlomo of Khaibar. And this Khaibar is also Heber, my naga, is also Habur or Heber, because David's own story calls the town Habur rather than Khaibar. And they just said Habur is Khaibar, right? Is with a Q, Khibir, Khaibar or Khaibar, which is what we're seeing right here on the David Rumsey. Hey, this has been the 105th installment of the Prester John investigation, where we keep the water flowing and keep the fire burning. We are the Ibaru. We are the daughters and sons of Heber, or what they'll say is Khaibar, Quivira, Ania. Yeah, it's all happening, ain't it? It's all happening. It's all happening in Asia, boss, where they just found the copper color con. And the copper is the Khaibar, and the Khaibar is the Heber. Hey, welcome home, tribe. We did it again. Shabbat Shalom.